strong. There's a kind of perception whenever we have civilian democracy in Pakistan that both the People's Party and Muslim League always accused of corruption time and time again. So I want to ask you, what is the problem of corruption in Pakistan? What is the differences between corruption under civilian rule and military rule? And finally, do you see any parallels between the kind of corruption we talk about and see in Pakistan and the kind of corruption that everyone is now talking about in India with the Aitzaz Ahsan movement?
Well, corruption is a big issue, and there's no escaping it. And corruption, unfortunately, is such a huge issue to my mind that there's another aspect that I didn't really have the time to speak of, but it's most essential, and I'm glad you asked me this question and given me a chance to highlight that, because that is something that you face, and as Pakistani, particularly in England, in the West, something that you will necessarily have to, and I'm sure you are confronted with. Corruption is a huge issue. Corruption is in fact that issue that has fired and fueled the Taliban. The corruption of the political and social and the economic elite of this country. What do the Taliban say? Taliban say, we'll give you clean government, we'll give you good justice. That may not be the good, clean government that you and I particularly admire or strive for or find for, nor for the justice, but this is what they say to the people. These people are corrupt, and they will give you good government. That's what Imran Khan also says. And his great platform is anti-corruption, which is correct, which is right. I'm not criticizing Imran on this. I criticize him on his soft corner in his heart for the Taliban, and let's talk to them and let's have a ceasefire and then stop bombing our homes and houses. If we were to stop bombing there, if there were no drone attacks, they would not attack Lahore or Karachi. My take on that, of course, is that were we to talk to the Taliban, this would really end in saying, you retain de facto control of the territory you have, we will not send the army in, and you don't attack our cities. That is ceding large swaths of Pakistan to people who will then not allow women to come out of their homes, who will not allow girls to go to school, who will blow up schools teaching the curriculum that is taught, that is modern curriculum taught in schools, even in boys' schools, who will blow up television and internet and media, who will blow up cyber cafes, who will blow up barber shops, and their leader, the Sawat leader, Sufi Muhammad, was asked by this question by the anchor Salim Safi in a Geo interview. He asked her, what about woman? Can she go out of her house, and when can she go out of her house? And Sufi Muhammad said, and this is recorded, I'm not making it up, this is recorded, unless it was made up by in translation from Pashto to Urdu. I heard it in Urdu, and the Pashto was being stated, so the Pashtuns could know that the translation is correct, and Urdu was being stated. He said a woman can step out of his house under the Sharia only 2 times in her life. One when she goes to Hajj, and the second time when she goes in a coffin. Now, the issue, of course, was what about when she gets married? He said that's not. He said that's not going out of the house. That's just transfer of residence. A husband she's living with may transfer residence from one place to another. He may give up a lease and take another house. The father may shift residence. So that's transfer of residence. That's like going from one room to another room. It's not. So corruption is an important issue, is a vital issue, and good governance is a vital issue because we are in the theatre of war. And the war cannot be won by weapons alone. The war has to be won by enlightenment on our part and by being better at governing and better, more honest in our dealings. And I mean this for the people in power. A scandal-free government. I'll give you one other example where why I have hope, why I have great hope in my country, in Pakistan, in its people. You take an example, a sample of 200 people, every day, 5 times a day. 200 people every day, 5 times a day, go to the Lahore airport to board an international flight. There are more flights, but I'm talking of one destination, so 5 times a day. Every day 200 people, they go to the Lahore airport and they look like a rabble, a crowd, indisciplined. They don't want their baggage to be searched by the customs. They will bribe the loader for a boarding pass. They don't want to go in a queue. They are crowding the desk of the PIA agent, giving out the tickets and booking them in. And then this rabble, 3 hours later, the same 200 people 5 times a day disembark in Dubai. And they are different. It's the same people, they are totally transformed. 6 hours, 7 hours later, they disembark at Heathrow or in Manchester, and you and me, we are transformed. We are different. We weren't like that in Lahore or in Rawalpindi. So the issue is systemic. The issue is systemic. The issue is there's nothing wrong with the people, it's with the system. And the system starts from the top. We have to eliminate corruption at the top. We have to eliminate impunity at the top. We have to eliminate immunity at the top. And therefore, hence, whether it is to fight the war that maybe threatens America and Britain, God forbid that it should, but maybe threatens America or Britain. But that not only threatens me, but it is the fire at my doorstep. To win that war, we must have a clean government. And we must have clean and good governance. So, undoubtedly, corruption is a very important #1 issue, and I agree with you.
Dr. Ahmed and then Amara.
Yes, Aitzaz Ahsan, you spoke very well on also the historical context and the Lahore movement. But I think every movement is judged by its outcome. And my interaction with some of the members of civil society, especially the liberal segment, I seem to be quite disappointed with the